With another exciting GEMPC match. As always, I am Dan Tartaglione. Tonight we have the honor of streaming a Matt Lutz versus Paul Myers match. This is round 3 of the GEMPC. I believe both are going to be playing. They're going to be doing both games tonight. So it's going to be a really interesting match. Okay, so this is interesting. We have Paul Myers not playing IE; he's playing ISB. Matt Lutz is showing Profit, so this is going to be an interesting match. Profit versus IE, really different. Like I was not expecting either of these players on either of these decks. So, okay, Paul is showing Imperial Arrest Order, Quad Drive Yards, and Nagak War Beast. Matt is showing your standard Profit with the Seeking an Audience, I Must Be Allowed to Speak, and Walkling. Okay, so here we go. Game 1, round 1, Paul versus CRG. I definitely was not expecting Paul on... was not expecting... I was not expecting Paul on ISB. So this is going to be interesting. He might have been confused when the errata was happening, but I highly doubt it. Paul tends to be up on the know-all of what's going on in Star Wars CCG. Thank you, Bill. Yeah, I didn't know he was playing ISB at all in the OCS. I will say I need to get my games in. I'm sitting at 3 games. Unfortunately, all my 3 games so far are all losses, so it's been a rough month for me. Granted, I did make it to round 3 of the GEMPC, so there's that. Okay, there's a gift from Matt. Not sure a gift will come into play this game. Yeah, I really don't know Paul's ISB list, so he did start the Imperial Square, so Bill says it's Troopers. Interesting. If it's what's your take on this matchup, Bill? I know you are teammates with Matt, so I'm kind of interested in hear some of your insight onto what made him go with Profit. Was he expecting IE? Okay, so we have there's the Executor Docking Bay. He's going to use Quad Drive Yards. Probably going to get Mustafar plus Vader's Castle out this turn. He's got, if he does that, he's going to have 2 Force saves, so he'll be able to draw 1. Yep, there's the Mustafar. And there's Vader's Castle. So yeah, Paul does have 2 Force saved. And he's going to draw 1. Let's see if he draws that last one. Now, is that what why Matt is playing Profit? Because you expected the ISB or Bestman CRV? Yeah, his Bestman CRV was actually what I played against Gogolin and Kyle Kruger this in the GEMPC. Able to get past Gogolin with a lucky tie cannon. So, but I mean, I should have played my ISB against Kyle. But now I get to do commentary and stream games for all you lucky people. So here we go with Matt's first turn. Matt activates 7. He's going to pull most likely 3PO here with Seeking an Audience, so that way he can start putting cards back into his use pile. Now, is this your normal version of Prophet, or is this like the Reed Smith, play the Luke Speeder, play Spaceport speeders, sell the speeder, activate a ton, do all sorts of shenanigans, or is this your normal, like, Johnny Chew version of Prophet? Okay, there's the 3PO. He is playing a foil AI version. There's the antechamber, so he's getting some activation out. There's an I must be allowed to speak. Probably going to go get, he's going to go get a farm. He did check his deck, so he knows the farm is in there. There's the farm, the large moisture farm. It is an episode 1 card. Okay, put a card back with 3PO. He's still got 7 cards to work with in his force pile. But he's going to go right ahead, moves into his battle phase, nothing happening. Going into the move phase, there's 3PO moving over to the Jabba's Palace site, gift, and 3PO will go undercover here. So Paul didn't show, normally with Prophet, you would have the ability to, if you're the dark side player, you could put out 2 aliens to the audience chamber. Being that Paul's playing ISB, he doesn't have the aliens, so no aliens are down for Paul. We could have seen Matt gone and saved Han to flip, but we didn't. He did not do that in his last turn. He just got 3PO out. Okay, there's a Mandalorian mishap. He's going to take a blaster. So yeah, this looks like it's your normal version. So I'm going to be expecting a good blaster at his side, which is like the light side variant of You'll Be Dead, so he can start doing ping damage there. So I'm expecting a plethora of pings from Matt this game. Yeah, he can still block drains. So I mean, he's still doing what he can, and you get him out for free. Still solid move right there from Matt. Okay, there's a Leia's blaster rifle from Matt. He took it into hand after playing his Mandalorian mishap. Okay, Paul's going to go get another docking bay, so he's getting all of his activation via docking bays this game, as well as Mustafar. Unfortunately, we learned that last night in the spoiled erratas that are coming out, Mustafar is no longer going to be able to pull any sites, so that pull chain of Quat Drive Yards to Mustafar to Vader's Castle will no longer be in effect soon. You know what, Bill? I don't think ISB's dead. I like ISB. I've been a fan of ISB. I love control decks. Like, I will say this, like, D&D is killing all the control decks. Well, give me a good old-fashioned control deck to play in Star Wars, and I will be a happy person. Okay, there's the Coruscant docking bay as well as the Death Star 2 docking bay from Paul. Paul activating 14, Matt activating 11. And we go into the move phase, so it looks like Paul's just going to get his activation out and draw a few cards this turn. The way I play it, it is a control deck. Limits you what you can do on the ground, drain you for a bunch in space, overwhelm you in space. Yeah, that to me is a control deck. Long live the 5D6 droid. He's one of my favorite characters in the game. And we are seeing Paul drop a few. He's got 13 cards in his hand, so he's not really worried about Grimtosh right now. Yeah, he's going to go past 13. He's got 16 right now. So Paul likes having a big hand, apparently. And it looks like he's going to... Is he going to stop at 16, or is he going to continue? Well, he's gonna draw another one. He's at 17. So let's see how fast Paul plays in this game. He is on turn 2. His timer's still at 45 minutes, so he's not moving too slow. So, okay, he saves 2 cards in his force pile, and he passes his turn. He's got a 19 card hand. Wow. Let's see if Matt playing a Grimtosh. Like I said, I already see one of Matt's teammates in the chat. Not sure. Don't know if there's any other of Matt's teammates in the chat right now, but Mr. Bill Kafer himself is in the chat right now. Okay, Matt activates. He activates again. He's got. Can't spoil the suspense. That's fair. I'm glad to see somebody has a interest in this game, Bill. But again, we are seeing seeking an audience pull from Matt. Let's see, he's going to use 1. So there's R2. R2D2, regular R2D2. So I actually forget, what does a regular R2D2 do? Well, if at a Scomp link, so he works with Scomp links, so while aboard any starfighter, don't say any starfighters yet, but if at a Scomp link, when an opponent draws destiny of 1 to 3, you may activate a force. 4 to 6, you may draw the top card of your reserve deck. So not a bad little card, but unfortunately for Matt, none of those locations, except for the Lars Moisture Farm, have Scomp links. Yeah, but there's no Scomp link there. So we are still on Matt's turn. He did 3PO, so he put a card back onto his used pile, draw a card off of his reserve deck. He's still got 11 force to work with. He's got a 12-card hand himself, so let's see what Matt wants to do here. Is he going to come down? We know that he's got the Leia's Blaster Rifle. And let's see, which Haunt is he playing? So he's playing solo as the Frozen Haunt. Interesting. Oh. Interesting. Thank you, Bill. See, this is why I'm glad you're around, Bill. This is the Fire Escape version, where if it's the Tom Haid Fire Escape version, that's going to be saucy. Okay, so Matt's going to save 11 cards. Interesting. He's going to save 11 force. He's got a 12-card hand, so... Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Like, right now, if the game ended, Matt would win. I mean, he's got a 35-card hand, or a 35-card life force. Paul has 29 in life force. Okay, there was no... so we go into Paul's deploy phase after he activates. No docking bay in his reserve deck. Matt got a free verify. I don't know. Right now, Paul is sitting about a little almost, I see, like 20 seconds ahead of Matt. So, doesn't look like Paul is playing terribly slow yet. Paul, a notoriously slow player, but even though he is slow, a little bit on the slow side when it comes to playing Star Wars, he does seem to win a lot. If you check the OCS standings right now, I believe Paul is in the lead this month. So if the month ended today, he would qualify for the OCS already. Okay, still on Paul's deploy phase. He is deciding on what he wants to do, but he is eating a little bit of clock right now. Okay, so Moff Gideon comes down to the Imperial Square, as well as Corporal Oberek. Oberek doesn't really do anything special. He's a trooper. Once during your control phase, you may target an opponent's messy character. I don't think that's going to come into play. Yeah, he's just a trooper. So Gideon down to the Imperial Square will allow Paul to have -1 for each of his Imperial deploy cost. But let's see what else he wants to do this turn. I'm hoping he does a little bit more than just comes down with Gideon Oberek. So here's a question. Is Matt the last player of the new allies to be in this tournament? I know Greg lost. I know Bill lost. I'm trying to think of who else on the new allies entered the tournament. Okay. There's an Agent Callus coming down to Jabba's palace. Okay, he's going to reveal the top 2 cards of his reserve deck. He'll be able to take 1 into his hand. Let's see, we got a Lieutenant Polteerdom and a Stormtrooper Patrol. 2 pretty good cards. So there's the Polteerdom. Teardom comes down. There's a flip from Paul. So he does have 4 ISB agents. There's the aim high from Matt. Matt not playing like Joe Olsen. And there's an Isard. Isard coming down as well. So yeah, 3PO is going to lose his undercover ability here. And Stormtrooper Patrol as well. So a bunch of characters coming down already. Sergeant Tarl as well. Paul's got 2-4 saved. I'm imagining he's going to want to stop deploying characters here and using the one from Isard's game text to break 3PO's cover. Nope, he's going to throw down Lieutenant Renz as well. So, again, with D&D wanting to get away from the Doom stacks, Paul says, you know what? I'm going to try and play one more game with a Doom stack. He's got 6 characters there down at the Jabba's Palace site. Right now, he is threatening a drain of 3 next turn. And 3PO's cover is broken. Okay, so again, Matt has at the start of his turn, before he activated, he had 11 cards in his force pile. Now he's got 22. That's a lot of force to work with here. So let's see what Matt wants to do. Now, Paul does start the Nagok War Beast. So with the Nagok War Beast, sorry about the mess. Leia's Blaster Rifle won't make the characters go lost during the battle, but they would be forfeit 0. So that's a way to keeping those characters on the table during the battle. Okay, here we are in Matt's deploy phase. Okay, Cauldra Regam. Oh, that's an interesting card. Unless Great Warrior on table, opponent must have total ability less than 8 to initiate a battle at the same site. Also, whenever a battle is initiated at the same site, both players may draw up to 2 cards from the top of their reserve deck. So, Paul has greater than ability 8 at that site, so no battle's going to take place. Laura Santeca comes down to the audience chamber, allowing Matt to draw the top card of his reserve deck. He's still got 14 or 16 cards to work with. There's 2 4s. A BB8 comes down. That's another draw. Matt's going to draw another card from off the top of his reserve deck there. So Culture Regam will block that drain. And now Matt is showing a ping of 1 next turn with Laura Santeca and BB8 on the table. Yeah, I do feel a little dangerous with that Culture Regam. Like, if Paul has Darth Vader, Emperor's Enforcer, he can cancel the game text. Yeah. Paul asking if there's any inserts in Matt's deck. Well, if you're interested in playing some inserts, I would suggest playing in the Premier to Death Star 2 event that starts in April. Jared Napolitano is running that event as well as the tournament committee. I believe Bill is assisting on that as well. You're going to see a lot of inserts, other cards. So all the cards that are shielded, like cards like Do or Do Not, and all the other shields that we have now, well, there's a reason that they exist. So inserts, operatives, numbers, all those stuff that we see that are have shields against, well, those will be legal for the premiere to Death Star 2. So it's going to be an interesting event. If you haven't been around in that era of Star Wars CCG, give it a try. It's a free event. There's going to be some great prizes. If you play and you win, you'll win yourself a Japanese Devastator. That's an awesome prize. Again, thanks to Jared for running this event. I can't wait to play. I know Chris Kelly, Jared Konsker are going to play. It's going to be great. I can't wait. But back to our game. Harksef came down to the audience chamber as well as Leia, so Matt's gonna be able to pull a card with I Must Be Allowed to Speak and take a card off the top of his reserve deck into hand with Laura Santeca. So nice little stack for Matt. Matt probably going to deploy Leia's Blaster Rifle on Leia. That is one of the cards in his hand. He's got 10 cards in hand. We know that one of them is Leia's Blaster Rifle. And there is a Luke Skywalker Rebellion's Hero. Or the Rebellion's Hope. Yeah, you would think with those pulls that he did with Leia and Luke, he's probably going to get one, either a Hojix or some sort of, like a dodge or something to get out of this battle, just in case. We both see both players forming their own Doom stacks on Tatooine. Again, didn't they watch the show last night? D&D's starting to try and get away from Doom stacks. Doom stacks are bad. Doomstack is a bad word. Okay, and there's a You Will Take Me to Jabba Now. Let's see, that card. Relocate one of your characters. If Jabba is out of Jabba's palace site, okay, there's no Jabba. During your deploy phase, you may deploy one alien at normal use of the Force from reserve deck to the audience chamber. So that's how Matt just got Yoxkit. And there's the fire extinguisher. Deploy on one of your astromech droids. Actually. Deploy one of your astromech droids. Cancel an exploding program trap here. Any starship it is aboard is immune to lateral damage and ion. If deployed on R2-D2, may lose fire extinguisher to cancel a battle just initiated where present at a site. So, that's interesting. So, with the Yoxkit, you can get the fire extinguisher back, so you lose it, get it back with the aux kit, and just keep that going so that way you don't battle. I kind of like it. Yeah, I agree there, Jared. With Vader not on the table yet, it's kind of risky. So, okay, there's the Leia's blaster rifle. There's Luke's blaster pistol, card that we normally don't see. And there's the flip. Matt is going to retrieve 5. He's going to have to pay, but Secret Plans will cancel it, so no retrieval from Matt. But Solo's down. There's Solo's heavy blaster pistol. So that's a lot of guns there. We don't see a good blaster at your side yet, so right now Matt is doing a Drain of 1, a Ping of 1, and BB-8 of 1. That Ping of 1 is from the objective, so don't see any battle plan or battle deploy or battle order yet. So, okay, and here we go into Matt's draw phase. He's going to draw. So, not a bad turn for Matt. He got his nice little doom stack all set up. And we are in his draw phase. He's going to draw a few cards. He's got a 7-card hand. Still got 6 cards or 5 cards to work with in his force pile. So I'm assuming he's going to draw up and save at least 1 card here. Yes, it is. It is a drain of 1. It is a drain equals 0. So right now, it's only 2 force lost for Paul. But let's see what Paul is going to do. Paul activates. He's got 14 cards or 14 force to work with, so he activates 14. Okay, we're now in Paul's deploy phase. He can't drain because of Cauldra Regam. Yeah, Cauldra. Everybody knows I'm really bad with pronunciations. I like this. I'm just going to call him Cauldra from now on. Okay, again, we are in Paul's deploy phase. Let's see if he's got anything to do to get rid of that card. Okay. Gonna go search for a docking bay with the Imperial Arrest Order before he throws down anything from his hand. He's got a 14-card hand, and he's got 14 force to work with this turn. Matt has an 8-card hand, and he's got 5 force in his force pile still saved. Okay, there's a blockade flagship docking bay from Paul. It is a battleground. One would think that is all of the locations that Paul is playing. I don't know. I think we see maybe Paul go to space, get out some presence out with Mustafar. This is game 1, Joe. I do believe that they are going to be playing both games tonight, though. Joe Olson, the only number 1 remaining 1 seed in the event. Jared Napolitano, who also was a number 1 seed, was taken out by Scott Langrell. Scott will be playing Adam Fletcher in game 2 after winning game 1 by 15. I believe Matt Harrison Trainer was taken out by Wayne Cullen who was also a 1 seed, and the reigning champ, Mr. Chris Goglin, was taken out by this guy. He played ISB for game 1. I played No Idea, beat him in that match, and he played Watch Your Step versus a Bestman CRV, and thanks to the Thai SF cannon, his hope and dreams of a repeat went down in flames. So we are still on Paul's deploy phase, waiting on him to do something here. He's going to try and get rid of that Cauldra, or else he can't. Okay, so there's a Mara Jade in the Decimator. I said that, Joe. I said that Chris's hopes and dreams were shot down by a Thai SF cannon. There's Corporal Vandalay on the Decimator as well. Joe, shouldn't you be getting ready for your match against Brandon Beatty? Corporal Vandalay onto the Decimator. He's going to use 1 force. There's the Sergeant Torrent down to the large moisture farm. So Paul's looks like he's going to spread a little bit here. There's the Stormtrooper Patrol. So no Vader yet from Paul. But he does have other ways of getting in some drains here. Wondering what other kind of characters Matt is playing. He's got a lot of force to work with. He's going to have 17 to work with this turn. Does it fire adjacent? Okay. They target a character. No, no. You can't, it would have to be at the site, so... Oh, yeah, you can move... You move Solo over with Laura Santeca, then you can't move him back. So I do realize that. I always forget about that game text. You're right. But at the same time, do you do that if you're Matt? Because you have to move everybody over. Because you're not just going to move Solo over by himself. Okay, there we get. Okay, here's a ping from BB-8. There goes a Moff Gideon from Paul's hand. The only problem with that is R2 is a spy, so if he has the Never Yarnall, you can never Yarnall before the battle. Okay, he's going to do it. Well, the other thing is moving Solo here would actually increase the ping damage too. Okay, there's Solo over in front of that Doom stack, so he is going to try and use. So there's the ping damage from You'll Be Destroyed. Yeah, there's a lot. Okay, there goes the Search and Destroy as well as an Enter the Bureaucrat. This tells me that Paul put Matt on Watch Your Step. Interesting. Okay, here we go. Han's going to fire his heavy blaster pistol. Let's see who's going to target. He's going to target the Agent Callus here. Draws a 4, so yeah, Callus is going to be hit. Okay, so, and there goes Callus to the lost pile. Again, now Solo can't move, but we could see some other stuff. Okay, so here's the Seeking in the Audience. Let's see who Matt wants to pull. He's going to get the Underworld Contacts. Underworld Contacts, pretty good card. Your force generation is +1. Opponent may not cancel or modifies at each of the Tatooine battlegrounds. So that's going to work. So Paul can't reduce the drains now at any of those Tatooine battlegrounds. So ISB loses part of its 7 side of the objective. Okay, there's a control tunnel vision, so Matt's going to take a card into hand, and there's a good blast right side, so that's going to increase the ping damage here. And a R3PO. R3PO once during your control, once each turn during your control phase for each opponent's spy present, they must lose a force. 2 if it's if the spy is a droid. 4 if it's or undercovers. So being that there's 2 spies there because they're ISB agents, yeah, wow, this is a lot of ping damage. This is just ping damage R us for Matt Lutz. Okay, we are in the move phase, so let's see if what Matt wants to do here. And he's going to slide Harkseft over. Harkseft joining Solo and Caldra and 3PO. And he's also going to use one more force to slide over Lor Santeca as well. And he's going to draw. So R2 is going to stick at the audience chamber. Interesting. I would have rather had R2 at the palace site. Okay, Matt is going to take, though, a drain of 1 at Mustafar and a drain of 3 at the Lars Moisture Farm. Okay, Matt's saving 6 cards in his force pile. He's got 11 cards in his hand. And here we go with Paul's turn 5. No, it doesn't get reduced because of underworld contacts. Oh, you're right. Opponent may not cancel or modify each Tatooine battleground site where you have 2 aliens with different card titles. Okay. Yeah, he doesn't. He has only got the 1 alien, so yeah, with no Hark Seth there or no Solo, he can actually reduce the drain. Uh, yeah, you could pay to reduce with Hark, so yeah, you can reduce that drain from 3 to 0. Okay, here we got Paul's next turn. Let's see what he wants to do this turn. There's drain of 1 at Mustafar. There goes the rendezvous point from Matt's hand. There's the drain of 3 at the Moisture Farm. Let's see if he's going to reduce it with Hark Seth. Yep, he is going to reduce it with Hark Seth. So it goes from a drain of 3 to a drain of nada. Paul checking out his destinies. Well, right now, Paul is peeling. He's losing 1 to R3PO. He's losing 2 to the objective. He's losing 1 to BB-8, and he's losing 4 to a good blaster. He's losing 5. Sam, are you part of Team New Allies as well? And if so, are you guys taking applications for team members? Because I'm still without a team. There's Vader coming down to the Mustafar Vader's castle. Also going down to the blockade flagship docking bay. And Stormtrooper Patrol coming down as well. So that would be a drain of 2, unless Matt has something to do about it. Again, he's got a lot of cards to work with in his hand, and he's going to be activating 13 next turn. Paul has 5 left right now. Let's see what else he wants to do. Yeah, I'm moving back to Pittsburgh. Yes, so Pittsburgh's Star Wars CCG scene is pretty much dead. The Carulis don't play. Sean Dixon plays once in a while. Remaker doesn't play. Pat Johnson's down in Virginia, so. And Reed Smith, I hear, is retired. So don't quote me on that, though. Like, one of my goals this year is to get better at the game, so. I, it's funny, I actually asked Paul what he was playing today when I asked him if he was playing, so I wanted to make sure we could stream. He wouldn't tell me. I did tell him don't play IE because IE's terrible. And everybody would put him on it, so. Okay, Paul is down to 29 minutes. Matt is sitting at 34, so Paul is eating up some of his clock at this point. Here we go into his move phase. Let's see what he wants to do. Again, he can't battle, but he can move Vader over to the Lars Moisture Farm so he can cancel some of that ping damage. He's going to move Vader into the Jabba's palace site, so he's okay with losing 1. Interesting. And Paul's going to move some of the stuff around. He's going to move Torrent and the Stormtrooper Patrol as well. There's a battle plan. I mean, yeah, it would be a drain of 0, but more importantly, there's just a ton of ping damage here. I don't think. Yeah, he is. I don't know if he is tracking Destiny, but I mean, he could easily track his Destiny because he hasn't put a card back with 3PO yet. And losing Vader would be ridiculously bad for Paul. Okay, but before he ends his turn, he's going to use one to retrieve one. He's going to retrieve an ISB agent here. And he retrieves them off Gideon. Currently, life force counts are 21 for Paul, 20 for Matt. Matt activates. He activates his full 13. So again, I don't know if he is tracking his destinies here. It doesn't look like it though. But here we go with the ping damage. Loses one. He loses pull teardrum to good blast right at your side. Or it's BB-8. It's going to lose one to a good blast right at your side. There goes the Stalker. Again, the Stalker is going to see an errata here instead of moving willy-nilly. It's only going to be once per game as it follows game text. And let's see, there's the two from You'll Be Destroyed. There goes a Tarkin and a Lana Dobreed combo. Lana Dobreed also going to see an errata as well. Okay, here we go. Han's Blaster Pistol is going to take a fire at Vader. Again, he needs a 5 to hit Vader here. He draws a 5. There's a fire extinguisher. Vader goes lost. Han pulls out his gun and shoots Vader, unlike in the movies. Matt's going to check out his Destinies in his deck. He's got 3 cards left in his reserve deck here. Okay, nothing came down from the deploy phase for Matt. Goes in past the battle phase, goes to his move phase. Let's see what he wants to do here. Yeah, he brought. I know. Yeah, you're right, Joe. Tom brought this deck to. I want to say the MPC. I don't think he played it in the first round, but he did play it in the consolation after after he lost in the main tournament. You know what? This seems like a crazy, fun little deck, and I kind of like it. This seems like a complete CRG deck. Yeah, I know. I played against this deck. It's not a fun deck. I think I gave Tom a white border fire extinguisher after the event, though. Okay, here's what we go. We go into Paul's next turn. He's going to drain for 1 at Mustafar. There goes a Lor Santeca from Matt's hand. He can move solo next turn if he really wants, but you're getting that second ping. Okay, he's gonna play. He's gonna use Solo's game text to take a card. Oh no, he's gonna cancel the drain at the blockade flagship stocking base. So he's not gonna lose any cards to that drain. So he only lost to a drain of 1 there. Did he even lose? What did he lose? He lost to Lore Santeca. Oh, okay. Okay. Paul checking out his destinies again. I don't know. Uh, I'm going to say this. I don't think Paul has a win condition. I mean, he is going to be draining for 1 and 3, but it's just going to he can still retrieve. What's going to be important is Matt does need to find himself a rose so he can start retrieving as well. Um, but we shall see. There's a Sergeant Barrick down to the Lars Moisture Farm. Don't believe Sergeant Barrick is an ISB agent. Whalen as well. Again, I don't think those are ISB agents, though. So, no, they are not ISB agents, so they won't work with the droid. They're not ISB agents. Oh, yeah, you're right. You don't want to move in front of pawn. See, this is why you are a world champ and I didn't even play in Worlds. Okay, starting to Kayla's coming down to the antechamber, taking Kirkanos into his hand. Now, I think you throw down somebody else. You got to throw down Kirkanos somewhere. You've got a lot of force to work with still. You only got a 5-card hand, so Kirkanos should get down to the Lars Moisture Farm, and another ISB agent goes down. Okay, there's Colonel Wolf-Yularen. Paul will activate 2, so he's got 11 cards to work with. Yeah, I think you drop the Kirkanos down to the Large Moisture Farm because, again, he's not an ISB agent, so you're not taking any ping, and this way Solo can't slide over, shoot a guy, and battle you off. And there's the Kirkanos down to the Large Moisture Farm. Paul has a 3-card hand now. He's got 18 in life force. 3PO putting a card back, taking a card off the top. And we go into the move phase. Let's see what Paul wants to do here. Again, he's going to be taking 4 damage next turn. I don't think that would be a prize, but that would be a good deck building challenge. So, thank you. I like that. See, you can get the most characters on table and win. Paul drawing a few. He did retrieve. He retrieved Lieutenant Paul Teardom. And he continues to draw some cards. And he's drawing more cards. And draws another card. Let's see. Is he going to stop at 2 or is he going to save another card? Or is he going to draw that one of those last two cards? Okay, Paul draws his last. He's got one card left in his force pile, and he will save that last card. Okay, now we go into CRG or Matt's next turn. Again, Matt only has a 4-card reserve deck here, so let's see what he wants to activate. I'm going to say this. I don't care if there's a reset, just leave Tarkin Bounty alone. But here we go into Matt's next turn. Let's see what he wants to do. He hasn't activated anything. He's had 15 cards in his force pile since last turn. Okay, Matt activates. He activates 3, saving 1 card in his reserve deck. I will say this, I'm glad to hear it. There goes an Imp Justice from Paul's hand. There's the BB-8 ping. Let's see, the ping from the you'll be destroyed. Chris Kelly is in the chat. Chris, from my co-host from last night's episode of Holo Theater. There goes a Moff Gideon and a Lieutenant Pul Tierdum from Paul. He loses the Moff Gideon from his hand. He loses Pul Tierdum from his reserve deck. Again, he'll be able to get the Pul Tierdum back. I actually did tell Paul that today, Joe, but I also told him everybody's going to put him on IE or some sort of Tatooine deck. Okay, let's see. Here we go with the Hans Blaster Pistol. During the control phase, he's going to attempt to shoot Pul Tierdum here. Again, he knows what that 1 card in his reserve deck is. He draws a 5. It's "You will take me to Jabba now." Bye-bye, Lieutenant Pul Tierdum. All he needed was a 0 to hit him. Yeah, Luke's not doing anything in this game. Chris Kelly must be pulling out his hair, or whatever hair he has left, underneath that New York Yankees hat of his. Oh, Jared, that makes me happy. And there's the ping from Good Blaster at your side. There goes another Moff Gideon. So Paul's playing 3 Moff Gideons in the deck. Void is where all my hopes and dreams go, Joe. And Projection of Skywalker coming down onto the antechamber. I believe that would reduce that drain down to 1. Or no, that's a so normally is a drain of 1, becomes a drain of 2. So yeah, it becomes a drain of 1. No, I like the void where, again, it's my hopes and dreams. And R3PO moves in front of the Doomstack at the Jabba's Palace site. So he would be doing a bunch of damage to Paul next turn. Joe, if you want it changed, you go on, you become a slicer, and you change it. Okay, here we go. Luke moving over to the Jabba's Palace site. He's moving over to the Tatooine Jabba's Palace. So Luke's going to join the fray now. Solo moves. He's going to move over to the Lars Moisture Farm. Harksef moves over to the audience chamber. Laura Santeca joining Solo here. Luke's staying by himself. Interesting. A Highlander deck is you can only play one copy of each card. There can only be one. Paul putting a Death Squadron assignments back into his deck. Okay, Paul's sitting at 22 minutes. Matt is at 25 minutes, so not that much difference in time. Life Force counts is 17 for Matt, 11 for Paul. But again, Matt has a 10 force force pile, so he'll be able to cancel that drain at the antechamber. So here we go with Paul's next turn. Paul has a 7-card hand. Matt has a 12-card hand. Let's see what Paul wants to do. He's still in the activate phase. He saved one force in his reserve deck. Tell me that he is going to want a battle here. There's train 1 at Mustafar. There goes a Luke Skywalker The Last Jedi from Matt's hand. And he loses 2. So there's it could be worse to cancel it, to reduce the drain at the blockade flagship. Paul will grab that card. So Matt will use the 2. It is grabbed. So that drain is now reduced by 2. Oh, excuse me. Paul initiates a drain at the antechamber. Harksef says, I'm going to reduce it by 1. Matt still has 8 cards in his force pile, so he does have enough to pay 1 to reduce it down to 0. So again, Paul is attempting to do damage, but he's just not. It's not going through. I think Paul has 7 ability here. Kyrkonos is a 3. Yeah, Wayland's a 2. So even if he shoots somebody, well, I mean, you could shoot somebody with solo. It's not, they won't go lost. 1, because of Nagok Warbeast. 2, because they don't go lost. Okay, Min coming down to the antechamber. Yep, and they can't be so he will be able to get the drain here. They can't be reduced. Okay, he's going to battle at the Jabba's Palace site first. Paul is enough, and there's the It's a Trap. Matt will use 3. It's a trap. That cancels the battle. We now go into Paul's move phase. See where Paul wants to move all of those characters, because he does not want to take the damage from the R3PO. He's got a Lana Dope combo, so he's going to pay. He's got the 4. So he's going to use the Lana Dope combo to move that entire stack over to the audience chamber. Matt will grab the Lana Dope combo, but those characters all run away. And there was a sense from Matt. Matt's going to target Leia. She's ability 5, so as long as he doesn't draw anything higher than a 4, he'll be able to sense that. Now, the question here is, okay, he's going to place it out of play. Matt draws a 5, so unfortunately that is not canceled. And the 5 goes long, so yeah. The sense fails. Paul gets the move. And he's not going to take any damage from R3PO next turn. Paul will go into his draw phase. He's going to pay 1 to retrieve 1. He retrieves Moff Gideon. And that's going to be his turn. So he was able to bait out the It's a Trap. He was also able to avoid taking damage with the Lana Dope combo. Matt did have the sense, but unfortunately for him, he drew a 5. He's looking at damage. 3 damage from you'll be destroyed. He's looking at 1 damage from the good blaster at your side. 1 damage from... So, yeah, 5 damage. The drain is 0. Okay, here we go. Matt's going to activate. Let's see how much he activates. He's got he can activate up to 13. He activates so far to 11. That's saving himself 3. Again, here's a 3 damage from You'll Be Destroyed. There goes a Moff Gideon from the reserve deck, Trooper Assault, and Tarkin from the hand. Again, here's 2 more. Still got 2 more damage now. 1 from a good blaster at your side. There goes a Corporal Drusselin from the reserve deck. And the BB-8 ping as well. Okay, there's a Stormtrooper Patrol from Matt's. And he's going to take this card out of his force pile. According to the Slack chat, Jared Napolitano reported that Wayne Cullen just monarched 3 Luke Skywalker Jedi Knights out of Adam Trunzo's hand. So, that's awesome. Han's going to fire his gun. He's going to fire it at... Let's see who he's going to fire at. He's going to go fire at Sergeant Barrick. Believe he needs to draw a 0 to hit. Draws a 5. Well, according to Slack chat, Chris Kelly saw it, and he said that Wayne should be ashamed of himself. No. Wayne should be happy. In fact, I think this whole Star Wars community should be happy when anytime a Luke Skywalker goes to the lost pile, an angel gets his wings. Still in Matt's control phase. And there's Rose. Rose coming down to the audience chamber. Jared, I love the fact that you pulled up the multi-tap for this. I love it. So looking at the other match, it looks like it's an ASM versus Hitco match. Thank you to Justin Miyashiro for streaming that game. Looks like Wayne is on the 0 side. Actually, it looks like both players are on their 0 side, so it looks like it's a fun match. I definitely going to want to watch it after this game. Yoda Keeper of the Peace comes down to the Lars Moisture Farm, indicating that it looks like Matt's going to want to battle here. And Lando coming down as well. Deploys Yoda, deploys Lando, pulls a card out of his use pile, does a lot. I mean, the current power is 7 to 13. Let's see, we are in the battle phase. Life force count is 15 to 8, and here we go. We do have a battle. Matt is going to be able to retrieve one with Leia. So for some reason, the sense is showing in the void. Does anybody else see that? And we have a trooper assault from Paul. So current power is 9 to 13. Yeah. Okay, Paul draws the top 2 cards of his reserve deck with Cauldra. And he plays another Trooper Assault. So power is 11 to 13 now. Oh, no, you don't get the +2. You're right, yeah. I completely forgot about that. You don't get, it's not cumulative. Han's going to shoot Waylon. Waylon is going to be hit. He can't be lost right away. But he is forfeit 0. Matt draws a destiny of 5. That's going to bring him up to 18. Paul is currently down by 9. Paul draws a 3, bringing him up to 12. So I want to say it's both characters and a force for Paul. And Lando, I was going to say Lando's forfeit fodder. Yeah. Okay, yep. Paul has to lose 2 more. So my math was incorrect. There goes a Moff Gideon and a Death Squadron assignments from Life Force. Currently, Matt is sitting at 15 in Life Force. Paul is sitting at 7. Moves Luke over to the large moisture farm, and R3PO to the audience chamber. Min's out there, so he can't actually cancel or reduce the drain. Yeah, 3PO is all by himself at the palace, so. While at opponent's battleground, force drains may not be reduced. You can cancel, you can't hark. Oh, you're right. You would have to pay the full cost to cancel the drain, essentially. Yeah, 3 because actually, so the site says force drain -1 there, so 3. Yeah, it's 3. Okay, but here we go. Drain of 2 at the blockade flagships. So Matt lost 1. He lost the Emergence of the Force from his hand to the drain of Mustafar. He's going to lose 2 to the blockade flagship drain. He loses a sense from the. And there's a weird doomed. So Matt has all the tricks. Okay, he can. I was gonna say it's still showing a drain of 3. Action still, it should be on Matt right now. But looking at the clocks, nothing's changing. And there's a Never Yarnall to make R2 lost. And he's got the droid shutdown. Okay, here we go into Paul's deploy phase. Yeah, now Matt can start cycling that "We Are Doomed" as well. Yeah, I've never seen that as well either. So good play from Matt. He still has his Walkling to come, so he will be able to retrieve one force. Paul taking his time, thinking about what he wants to do here. Because it looks like he's going to take a lot of ping damage. Now, let's see, 6, 7, 8, 9, or 7, 8, 9, 10. That would actually kill Paul. It depends on what he does here. Because he needs to move those characters, or else he's going to take a ton of R3PO damage. Yeah. Okay, we go into Paul's. So here we go. Paul's going to use one. We are in his move phase. He's going to move the Stormtrooper Patrol. Okay, goes into his draw phase. He's going to retrieve with his objective, and then he's going to pass turn. So he just, by moving those 4 characters, he saved himself forced loss of 4. So he is going to be still taking 2 from the R3PO, 1 from the BB-8, and 2 and 1 from the Good Blaster side. So let's see, he's taking 2 from the objective, 2 from the R3PO. This is 4, and then he's going to take 1 and 1, so 6. He's taking 6 points of damage this turn. Oh, you're correct. Yeah, he can move the solo too. Plus, Matt is going to be able to retrieve with Rose. And Matt should retrieve with Walkling as well. Okay, there's the ping damage. There goes 2 Trooper assaults, both from the reserve deck. Lord Sandtech is going to have solo move. So he'll get 3 damage in from the objective. Yep, there goes Moff Gideon, Colonel Wolf Yularen, and Sergeant Iroll. Han's going to shoot. Yeah, CRG played well. I think there was like maybe 1 or 2 mistakes. Thankfully for him, they didn't cost him the game. Han's going to shoot. Draws a 4 for Destiny. Sergeant Charles going to go lost. There's a ping damage from BB-8. Paul's going to lose Sergeant Narthax from his hand. Oh, there's a double agent from Matt. Issard's going to go attempt to be lost here. And because Matt's been tracking his destiny, yep, there's a 6. Issard's going to go lost. So that Storm Patrol is going to be sitting there all by his lonesome here. Okay, there goes a force push from the You'll Be a Good Blaster at your side. Yep, we're going to see a battle here. Yep, Matt's going to retrieve 1. He should retrieve 2 here. 1 from Leia and then 1 from the Walkling. Okay, Leia's going to fire her gun. She's going to hit the Stormtrooper Patrol. Actually, she's not going to hit the Stormtrooper Patrol. Matt forgetting about his Walkling. And that should be... unless Paul has a Gick here, that's going to be it. So there goes the Stormtrooper Patrol. And no Gick. Yeah, no Gick. So Paul is defeated by Matt. Matt wins by 18. Paul has 35 in lost pile. Matt only has 9. So good job on for Matt. Looks like they're going to take a... Looks like they're going to play the next game. Paul wants to play. Let's see what Matt... if he's going to play in that game. Let's see if Matt's going to want to play. Okay, Matt says, unfortunately, he can't play. Okay, so thanks everybody for watching. If you're still wanting to watch more Star Wars CCG action, go over to Justin Miyahiro's Twitch channel. He is currently streaming the Wayne Cullen versus Adam Trunzo game. I believe that game is going on. Looks like it's a really close match right now, so I'd go check that out. I'm going to turn this off and go watch the game myself. So good night, everybody, and make sure you tune in on Monday. Chris Gogolin is going to spoil the Set 14 cards. Wednesday, another great episode of Holo Theater. We're going to have a lot of exciting stuff to talk about. What with the Set 14, the GEMPC, and the erratas. So tune in to more Holo Theater, and we'll see everybody later. Good night.